Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Like, a client walks through the door. What questions are you asking? How are you determining a good case against a bad case? Like, how do you get these cases to begin?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, how I get a case? People hear about me. Get referrals. They get on the website. They go. They see an ad in Google, whatever the case may be. They give me a call. So I teach people, how to kind of evaluate and look at cases. When terms of civil rights cases, I guess the thing we don't talk about a lot is color of law, but that's a big deal, right? So the police officer has to be acting as a police officer, right? I don't know if you remember, there's this case of Amber Geiger who got off duty and killed Botham Jean in his apartment, right? It was an issue. Well, she wasn't on duty, so. The case. So
now that's like a civil thing.
It's a regular.
It's like a regular person.
It's not a civil rights case, right? Because she wasn't on duty, right? They try to get some creative arguments, shout out to them, but it's a tough sell, especially in Texas. So so you got to be on duty. What about if you go to a store and if the store security officer is following you around doing some stuff and you get in a little fight? Now, it's not usually that's not going to work. That's a store security. They're not acting under color of law. They're not acting as authority to the state or federal agents, state or local agencies. They're just acting to the shop. So you can sue them, but that's tough too, because you get 1 year to sue them, where you get 3 years if it's a civil rights violations. So you got any intentional tort, you got to sue them within 1 year. A lot of people may wait, delay. You got to get on top of that right away.
And there's also, I know when you're suing the city, even before you file a lawsuit, you have to put a notice of claim?
Yeah, notice of claim is something that if you have to file within 90 days. So basically, this is the way it works, right? The state and the city can make their own laws in terms of how you sue them. So they make it as difficult as possible.
Of course.
So basically, if you want, and these are state claims. Remember, federal lawsuit, I can bring a lawsuit anytime within 3 years. If I want to bring a state claims, right? I have to file a notice of claim within 90 days of the incident. And then after that, if I don't file within 90 days of the incident, then most of the time I won't be able to bring a case. Then I have to file a lawsuit within 1 year and 90 days of what took place. So let's say you get arrested January 4th, you're going to have to 30 January, February, April 4th, you got to bring a notice of claim in. And you can file a claim. April, say you have a January 4th, 2024, April 4th, 2025. You have to file a lawsuit.
Now, what happens if they're arrested and that case is actually going through the criminal justice system?
Then you can file a notice of claim within 90 days of dismissal.
Okay.
So the way it would work. I'm sorry, this is technical. I don't know how to explain it.
We just got to get technical.
So you would have a federal false arrest claim. You would not have a state false arrest claim, but you would have a state malicious prosecution claim.
And why wouldn't you have a false arrest claim?
Because you didn't get the notice within 90 days of the false arrest, but you got 90 days of the dismissal, which means you have a false arrest claim, a malicious prosecution claim. So malicious prosecution and false arrest, two are the big differences. So like I said earlier, false arrest doesn't matter whether you committed the crime. It does matter for malicious prosecution. You need what they call a favorable termination.
And what's considered?
So the law got a little bit better. Back in the day, ACDs was a little questionable, but now anything that results in dismissal is a favorable termination. So your cause of action, your case, the statute of limitations starts running, the clock starts ticking the moment the case is dismissed from malicious prosecution.
Now, let's say, for example, you get charged with a bunch of felonies, right? And they dismiss those counts for you to take a discount. Does that count or no?
So, good question. So the Supreme Court just came down and confirmed this. This law in the Second Circuit, like I said recently, I think it was the Sixth Circuit, basically said that if you are convicted of any crime, you have no malicious prosecution claim. Now, the law in New York was that you have malicious prosecution for each charge. So say I'm charged with attempted murder, and I plead to disorderly conduct. Now, I can say, okay, you had probable cause for disorderly conduct. But what about attempted murder? I spent 6 months in jail. And you can make the argument, look, I wouldn't have spent 6 months in jail for disorderly conduct. Why? Because max is 15 anyway. So So I can bring a claim for on the attempted murder charge. And one charge, there was no malicious prosecution, right? There was a malicious prosecution. Like I have a claim. Now again, that circuit said, no, you get convicted of disorderly conduct, you're done. Even your attempted murder claim, you got nothing.
Okay.
The Supreme Court just, I would say, affirmed, reinforced, said yes to the idea that it goes to each charge. So to answer your question is that if you got disorderly conduct, yeah, probably up to 15 days of your thing is gone. But the rest of it is if you spend over 15 days, really 10 days,
They get a discount, but you still got a case.
Yeah, you still got a case, and a lot of lawyers don't know that either. But that's that's why good people know what they're talking about.
Yeah, because I mean, like it's funny because
lawyers will say no, right? I'm sure lawyers. Oh, he got a discount. Oh no, I'm not going to do it. They're not going to say, oh, what's the charge with though?
Well, the funny thing is like as a public defender, it's like you have clients. It's like I'm not going to resolve this case this way or that way because I want to sue them, and then we're stuck. Like I was under the impression even sometimes ACDs are bad.
They were.
When was that? That was the same case? The same?
No. That was a Second Circuit opinion, like not the Supreme Court, and they reaffirmed that. Well, it was some gray area. Sometimes, guys, with the law is not really 100% clear. So they message. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. But the Second Circuit said, hey, we're not going to harm you for ACDs. But before you would have to be worried that an ACD was basically like an ACD, German and contemplation dismissal. Your case is usually going to be automatically sealed and dismissed within 6 months. And because they said that was kind of an agreement, because you have to say yes to ACD. They can't just force you, even though
it feels like they're forcing you.
Yeah, it feels like they're forcing you, but
yeah.
technically you got to say yes. So because it's an agreement to stipulate to dismiss the case, some courts were saying it's not a favorable termination. And some courts still say it's not a favorable termination depending where you go in the country. So,
So when was this updated?
This was after I left legal aid. So I think around like 2020, 2021.
Okay, so then during a chunk of my practice, ACDs would destroy your case.
Well, they destroy your malicious prosecution case, which a lot of people is all they have. Because a lot of people, they wait for the criminal case to finish before they pursue civil claims.
Now, in state court, let's say I get arrested. I know it's a fucked up situation, but I'm still being prosecuted. If I want to maintain, I probably won't have a good chance of getting a lawyer, but if I want to maintain that false arrest claim, I have to make sure I put a notice of entry within 90 days.
Yeah.
Regardless of how my case is going.
Yeah.
That would preserve it.
Yeah.
And then do I have to file a lawsuit within a year of that, or can I wait until the resolution
You
of the
have to
case?
file a lawsuit within a year and 90 days, even the case is still going.
Okay.
To preserve that false arrest claim. The reality is that the false arrest claims, they're usually people who are involved in claims, because cases can take 2-3 years.
Yeah.
So most of the time they just, they'll just chalk up the false arrest claim and just file a claim when the case gets dismissed.
Yeah.
But I guess technically you would have to file within a year and 90 days in order to get the state law false arrest.
Are you leaving a lot of like quality claims on the table if you do that? Like I guess what's the value of a false arrest claim what's the value of having it and not having it? Like what's the
Well, sometimes it's the only claim you have. So it's a difference between you recovering money and you not. I think that generally speaking, if you got like other types of claims, it's the false arrest claim is just going to kind of go with it. There's certain things like if say you have like it was a bad search, which we were talking about, right? And you're screwed on the false arrest claim, even if you had the drugs on you, whatever. There's certain types where it's like okay, it does hurt certain people. Most people are not. It's not going to hurt. But some people, it's going to be the end of the case. They're not going to be able to recover. It's just that simple. Like, like I said, the law's not written to help you. It's not written, for you to understand. So, and again, most people don't. They're not understanding the difference between claim A, claim B, claim C, claim D, claim E. So, they're just going like, let me wait till my case is missed, and then I'm getting. And like I said, most people, it's not gonna hurt you. But I will say this: it's you're not gonna get a false arrest claim for a lot of these homicides because their case may last 3 years and your statute of limitations is gone. Even with a false arrest. And I had that in one case the case took 2 years or some change, and by the time I got it,
The criminal case.
The criminal case took 2 years or some change. So by the time I got it, basically the false arrest, all the false arrest claims were gone. But I had the malicious prosecution claim, but because it took so long.